Hi, welcome, and I hope you're doing well. Here I have the iPhone 11, and in this video I would like to share with you a step-by-step on how to do a battery replacement. So if your battery is not holding the charge or the battery drops very quickly, then more likely you need to replace the battery. You can also go to the settings and check on the battery health, and if your battery health, if anything less than 85% or around 85%, that means the battery, I would suggest to replace the battery at that time. Alright, so here are the few things that you need to have. Definitely you need to have a new battery here, a replacement battery. These are the screwdrivers that you need to replace. Pentalobe tri screwdriver. This is double-sided tape, and this tape is to retape the battery to hold it down after when we replaced it. This is the plastic prying tool, a metal prying tool, and a scissors to cut the tape. Alright, so let's begin. The first thing I like to do is to remove the two screws at the bottom. So go ahead and remove them. Now when you do a battery replacement, we are going to cut open the water resistant seal, and when you do that, what happens is that the phone no longer be water resistant. Okay, so just so you know, you're taking a risk of that. So I'm using a metal prying tool. I stuck it underneath. Alright, and trying to get the soft spot, and once I have the soft spot, and what you want to do is you want to work your way around it and gently and slowly cut the adhesive seal. Like I said, this water resistant seal would prevent, once you cut it, then it would, the phone is no longer water resistant. They do sell the seal aftermarket. You can buy the seal and then reseal the phone back, so the phone will be, water resistant after. I will have the tools in the description, in the link in the description below. You can buy the seal, the battery, the tools on how to do this repair yourself. Okay, so technically, once you cut open that, you see that little all this gooey stuff. Those are actually what I call the seal. Okay, once you have the thing cut open, you might want to flip the phone to your right at about 90-degree angle like this. Okay, and you want to come here using the tri screwdriver, or what we call the Y screwdriver. Go ahead and remove the screw. We want to get the bracket out. You need to have the right tools for this purpose, because you do not want to strip the screw. Stripping the screw would actually make the project a lot more difficult to remove those strip screws. So make sure you have the right tools for this repair. Okay, once you have that screws removed, now you can go ahead and pry open this the metal plate using a plastic prying tool. Now we need to disconnect the battery too. The battery is actually hidden underneath on this side of the thing, so go ahead and remove it. There are 3 screws holding on to this bracket. This is a separate bracket right here. It's kind of hard to get one of the screw. The screw is hidden underneath this flex cable. And the third one is on the side. Okay, again we're going to remove the bracket. Now you can go ahead and disconnect the battery. The battery is hidden underneath right here on this part. Let me show it to you closely. So if you can see, this is the connector for the battery. Okay, so go ahead and disconnect that. Alright, once you disconnect the battery, I can come and disconnect the flex cable for the LCD screen. And this is for the digitizer. Okay, so now the screen can come off easily. Let's put the screen on the side. We're going to reuse the same screen. What we're going to do next is to try to remove the this double-sided tape. You see this little tiny black tape right here? Okay. So when you pull it, the other side of it is white. So you want to pull this tape. Do not break it, because once you break it, it's very difficult to remove the battery. So you want to be gentle, slowly, and put it into the right direction away from your body. Because now my phone is upside down, I'm pulling it away from me, right? So be very careful when you pull the tape. You try not to break it. Looks like I might break it, so yikes. It's not giving out much of the room for me to play with this one. So you just have to take your time slowly and pull the tape. That is not a good sign. I just broke it. But I think I got a good amount, and you can always come back here to pull on the other side. There's another tape on that side. So that's not too bad. At least half the way is pulled. Let's go work on the middle one. Okay, so that is the full length of it. So as you can see, the first time when I pull it, I slightly, maybe lose a little bit tiny more, but that's all right. We can remove it still. So let's work on the third one right here. So this double-sided adhesive tape is very sticky, and it's very thin. You can very easily break it. Some people like to reheat at the bottom on the glass here to make it a little bit softer to pull. I don't think it's necessary. I just feel like if you have a good grip of it, and you can just pull it out very easily. Now you work on the 3 at the bottom. We can work on the top now. Okay, we're gonna work on the rest of our tape here. kind of have to come in and dig the tape out. So be very careful, do not puncture the battery. As you see, I'm using a tweezer. The tweezer is pretty pointy at the end, and if you're not careful enough, you might puncture the battery, and that might cause explosion or fire. So be very careful with that, okay? Oops, that is not a good way to do it. I just broke the tape. That's alright. Let's get the final one here. Okay, hopefully by now the battery is going to be loose and it just come right off that easy. Okay. Alright, so the next step I'd like to do is to put a double-sided tape. If you do not have this tape, you can actually use any tape to tape it down. You just do not want the battery to move around, right? So you just use any double-sided tape to kind of tape the battery down. Try to find a tape that is not thick, right? If the tape is so thick, then the battery would be pushing onto the LCD screen. Yeah, that's my advice. Okay, so I'm just going to align, just kind of tape it down first, and I'm going to remove it after, so that I know the battery is aligned in the right position like this. And I'll press it down a little bit. I'll come back and remove the connector. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and connect the screen back together. First, I like to work with the proximity sensor and the speaker cable first. So you want to slide the cable in between the battery. This way it rests. Go ahead and press the connector back to the base. They are just like Lego. Once they're in the right position, you press it, it will just snap onto it. Now go ahead and connect the LCD screen and the digitizer. Press it down, connect it, put the bracket back on, put the battery connection first. Okay, once the battery is in, we can then connect the bracket. This is like the very tidiest job. The screws are really tiny and there's not much room for you to work with. So be very, have a steady hand. Take your time. There's no rush in this process. Even for myself, sometimes I find difficult to put the screw back on. So you just got to be patient. See, like this stubborn screw, this stubborn screw does not want to go in. Okay, that one screw goes in. Find the next one. this is the final third screw, and this third screw goes into the very end of it. Okay, now here comes the easy part. This is the main bracket. Align them with that hole and go ahead and put all the screws back on. Once you change the battery, I would recommend you to charge the phone for at least 3 to 4 hours and give it like a deep cycle charge. And once you have that deep cycle charge, then you can start using the phone normally. So what I did earlier is I slide the top first. The top has this metal bracket. You need to slide it in. Once you have the hook in the right position, you can go ahead and crunch it down on the side and slowly work your way around it. Okay, once you have that installed, do not forget the 2 screws at the bottom. Go ahead and make sure you install the 2 screws. Alright, so at this point you're done, and if you have any question, just comment below. I think the new battery is not fully charged, it's dead. I'm gonna let it charge for a few hours, and that's pretty much it. That's how you replace the battery on the iPhone 11. Until next time, please take care. Bye.